Hello, everyone. See where you're all coming in from. Let's see here. Okay. How's everybody doing today? See what's happening around town here. Again, this is public. Here we go. Excellent. Say hello from wherever you're coming in from. Exciting. Oh, wait, I have to get rid of this. Okay, there we are. Good to see people popping on. Hi, Richard, my steadfast person who always comes every single week. Thank you so much. There's several of you that do that, but thank you so much. How is the sound? Is that doing okay as we gather the troops here? As I see people are coming on. And I was actually able to make the post public, like, really fast. Oh, wait, did I even put this on? Hang on. There we are. There we are in the excuse me, the very festive. Hi, Marianne. Thank you, Richard. Sound and picture are good. I actually came on extra early. Hi, Marianne. How are you doing? Merry Christmas. How is everybody's Christmas? Again, as we are just gathering the folks. I honestly was thinking I never want to see sugar ever again. I mean, I know that that is not a realistic goal, but honestly, that was just, oh my gosh, I had such a great, really enjoyable time. Went to somebody's house on the night before for Christmas Eve, and then went to my brother's, and fun was had all the way around. So, yeah, how's everybody doing out there? This is my last show of, I don't even know how many I've done. This was just kind of a whimsical thing. Oh, why don't I just do a weekly show so that everybody can gather up their energy. And really, that's what this was all done for, was for you to be able to let go of your week and then reset your energy for the weekend. So there's no like lag time. There's no kind of space that you have to go down and just sleep it through, because that's a way of clearing as well. But this way we do it consciously and with intention on a Friday afternoon, or if Angela's coming from New Zealand, or anybody's coming from other parts of the world, that you can actually just reset your energy. And we can always reset our energy. So it's a lot of fun to just kind of do this. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, it was fun. Hi, Maria. Good to see you. I know that's why Maria had sent me a message before I got the banner up. Christmas, I will say those couple of days kind of set me off. I was a little bit behind this stuff, but I'm so glad that you are all popping on for this particular show, because I'm just, yikes, this is what a crazy year. So just all the way around. And I'm not going to do like a recap of the year in this show, just so y'all know. I'm not going to do a recap, because plenty of the news anchors are doing that. Plenty of, the newspapers or whatever it is that you partake of to get your enjoyment. I kind of like watching some of the reviews and things I forgot about. Like, I forgot about the coronation earlier this year already. And that's partially because I try to be in present time. But I really kind of enjoy those reviews. But you can get your reviews somewhere else. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about resolutions and perhaps why they don't don't work, and how they can work for you. We're going to talk about, well, we're going to have our recall meditation. We're going to call back some of our energy from the week and from the year. That's going to be at the very end. And we're just going to chit chat back and forth about your questions, whatever you're curious about. Please do drop comments and I will try to get to them. I'm not going to do readings per se, but if you have questions about energy, the chakras, the aura, the energy systems, being intuitive, clairvoyant, if you don't understand what certain terms mean, please do ask those questions here. It's perfect for it. So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Happy end of the week. Welcome to TGIF, Insight for the Curious and Enlightened. And this is going to be our last show of the year. So, oh my gosh, wow. So I'm your host, Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight. I am a clairvoyant, an energy healer, a spiritual teacher, a coach, sharing insight, guidance, and inspiration for the human spirit. So I welcome you all here from wherever you're coming from. Oh my gosh, Janet, yay, Janet's here. Happy New Year to you and everyone. And we're going to just keep saying that. We are going to make this the start of the party. This is going to be the wrap up and the kickoff as we go waltzing into 2024. So that is what we're going to be doing. So happy end of the week, happy end of the year. So it really has been this up and down year, especially energetically. I don't know if, particularly for the empaths out there, if you have felt this kind of wavy energy that kind of hit the whole year through. Like the minute we thought we were through some growth, it just like a roller coaster, vroom, just went right back down, and we got kind of sucked in or went down the rabbit hole or whatever we did. So it's been an up and down year for everybody. And I think that, when I was looking at the energy of kind of, I'd like to think of it as sliding into home plate a little bit, like if we're on a, if we're on a roller, a ball game or something, sliding into home plate. But as we slide into the end of the year, right? We've got a few more days left. I think we sometimes hit this resistance. Like we hit we're just going to kick 2023 and its butt and leave it behind. But that's a resistance too. Yeah. And there just seems to be the energy of resistance in there. And it reminds me of, and I don't know if anybody watches the stock market here, but there's really a phenomenon that happens in the stock market. And you might even discover this in your life where we get really, really close to something and then it's like hitting a wall and we can't push through. And the reason I was talking about the stock market is because there's a phenomenon. I used to trade. I know, one of my many things that I have done in my life. But one of the things that would happen is when the stock market would go to hit new highs or, just kind of break through a number that it's never been through before, there's a ton of resistance and it hits it and bounces off and hits it and bounces off. And I think the end of the year is a little bit just like that, is that we want to push through even a month early, right? In the beginning of December, it was just like, okay, we're done. Let's do this thing. Let's get this out of the way, right? So it's really, when we go to slide into home plate, sometimes we're hitting the energy, and that's what it is. We're hitting the energy that has kept us from breaking through whatever that is, from moving on from whatever it is. It's just a level of resistance or a wall of energy that we're hitting. So maybe that'll help as we go into sort of sliding into home plate, but we're going to also help you do that today and as we take our step into 2024. It's going to be lots of fun. So, my goodness, Happy New Year, Tom, and everyone else here. All the best. My mom is here. Hi, Mom. Mom's saying Happy New Year to everybody. We're just going to keep doing, let's just keep, honestly, this is the party. This is the start of the party. Yeah. And I know, Maria, you were referring to what I was talking about hitting the resistance, and that really does happen. So keep an eye on that in your own life. As if you hit a wall, or you feel like you're moving 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, don't worry about it. Just recognize that it's just energy, and reground yourself, and just give yourself a breath and give yourself some space and go back at it. So we're going to be talking a lot about clairvoyance in this show as well. Did anybody see the full moon from a few days ago? It was absolutely stunning, and I don't know, I mean, it's gonna, obviously, if there's cloud cover, you're not going to see it. But the other night, and this was so incredible to me, to see this moon. I was outside. I was with my friend Joe. Hey, Joe, if you're out there and just not saying anything, hey, shout out. So I was with my friend Joe, and we went to this, it's called Lightscape. So it's like all these lights at the Botanic Gardens. And it was absolutely stunning beyond words. But what happened, we got out of the car. It was, I don't even know, 39 degrees, which really, I'm in Chicago. That's fine. That's great. So I'm looking up at the moon, and it is bright and beautiful, and it's exactly the way you think a moon looks. It's like white, and it's just gorgeous, and just moonbeaming. We were mooning. It was mooning. It was just gorgeous. But what happened was, I started taking photos, and as I'm looking at the pictures afterwards, I notice that there's not only an aura around the moon like there normally is when you photograph on a phone, not for all you professionals out there. But when you take a photograph on your iPhone, it'll be like, you'll see the white, it might light up around it a little bit. But what you couldn't see with the naked eye, you couldn't see the colors that were reflected, because there were clouds around it, and all the lights from the lightscape were actually reflected in the clouds and created this amazing colorful aura. If you are on my Facebook page, or my Facebook personal, or on my Instagram, you've got to check that out, because it was so beautiful. But I couldn't see it with the naked eye. It took me to take those photos in order to see the different colors. Yeah. And the reason that this is so kind of profound in that way is it's a really perfect illustration of what it's like with our clairvoyance. And when we open up our 6th chakra, or what's also referred to as the 3rd eye, our clairvoyance, we can start to see through a more neutral lens, just like our phone cameras, through a more neutral lens, and see more of what is there. And it's an ability that each of us has. And in order to do this, we also need to be present and accounted for. Yeah, we need to be in the moment. I could have potentially not looked up and seen that moon, although it was pretty hard to miss, because it was really stunning. But what I want to bring up is that sometimes it's the simplest awareness of our surroundings, and snapping a picture of the moon just because it looks gorgeous and I wanted to share it with everybody. But when we're aware of our surroundings, that brings us right into the present. And bodies, our physical bodies, can only exist in the present, in present time. So we're getting lots of Happy New Year. See, isn't it festive? It's like we're all Mom says, I feel like I know all of you. It's a wonderful feeling. You do know everyone here. I wanted to put that up because we're talking about clairvoyance. And with that, we have known each other. We are not here by accident together. Yeah. We are all here together in this forum that we call YouTube or Facebook or wherever we are in the world. We are all here and we're all in this together. And I mentioned that later, even. But we are meant to be here in this particular time. And I would say that just about every single person that comes on this, that has any interest, that comes upon my channels or these teachings of any of my colleagues, and there's several of us out there, doing some videos and things like that, and meditations and whatnot. But all of us are coming together to remember who we are, to come back. We've gotten caught up sometimes in our physicality, in our physical bodies. Yeah. And while we want to bring ourselves into the present time, because that's where we exist. Yeah. We also need to realize that we are spirit. We are spirit in a body. We are animated by that spirit, and spirit is eternal. It is that energy that never goes away. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we're all here for at this particular moment, is to remember and to hold space for each and every other being on this planet. So we are all doing this together. So thanks, Mom, for that prompt. I kind of like that. So yeah, look up at the moon whenever you get a chance to look up at the moon, because you know what? It is the same moon all over the world. It's not a different moon. It's not a separate moon. Okay, well, if you're looking at a different planet and it's got 12 moons, or you're a Doctor Who fan, it could be any kind of moon with 50 moons. But we have one moon on this earth, and just choose to look up, because when we are in the present, when we bring ourselves into present time, that's the time we can decide to look with the discerning eye of spirit and possibly see more of what's really there. There is so much more to your clairvoyance and to all that you see, or than predictions and what's going to happen. Because the ability to see what's really there, that's the superpower. Because then you can read the energy rather than getting caught up in having all your attention in the future or in the past. We get to see and open up what's really there. Yeah. So that's just kind of, how's that for one of my weekly wrap-ups? I mean, I've had some incredibly profound readings, but that connection with the moon, and who doesn't like mooning? Like, who doesn't like looking up at that glorious moon? And we have new moon intentions and full moon gatherings and recharging our crystals and things like that. Where are my crystals? Oh, darn it, I meant to bring my brother got me, I think it's called a selenite, for you all you crystal people out there, like this bowl. And so I just put all my crystals in it, and it makes me so happy just looking at it. But it's across the room. I'll try to remember that at any time. So how was everybody's holiday so far? Whatever you celebrate, even if you don't celebrate, please tell me that you did something to celebrate yourself, to celebrate life, to celebrate joy. Yes, my Fitbit, for those of you who were on last week, my Fitbit died a horrifying death in the washer and dryer. And so Merry Christmas to me. Oh, wait, here we go. So we got into the 21st century. It is the first watch. Don't laugh, folks. It is the first watch really that I've ever worn and ever actually looked at. Pretty amazing, but it does stalk me. It tells me when I need to stand up and sit down again, so there's that. So tell me about your fun Christmas gift. Did anybody get themselves a gift? I'm always a one for one. Like, I like to give and receive, and sometimes that means I give to myself. Yeah. Ah, so mooning, all of that. Oh, let's see. Richard says his family encouraged him to get a Fitbit. So it was, you're gonna love that Fitbit. You just ask me questions anytime about your Fitbit. I loved my Fitbit, and had it not died a horrible death, sad thing, I would have had another one. But gosh, enjoy it and get those steps in. I already noticed that from having the watch on, my workouts just like tripled. It's amazing just to have that, because really, again, it's about awareness, being aware of what you're doing at any given time. Well, happy Christmas, or whatever you saw. Have happy Festivus for the rest of us. That's where we are. So we are getting close to the end of the year. And it's that time again. Is anybody thinking about New Year's resolutions? Because definitely, we're talking about that right now, getting maybe a little more exercise in, or anybody doing any New Year's resolutions, while I take a sip of water since I'm the only one talking here. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, thank you for that. Sometimes we need to do. Oh, wait, that's great. Maybe we need a spiritual Fitbit to keep us on track. Yes. Yes. That's a great idea. Actually, all right, so I'm not telling everybody to go out and get this watch, okay? Because it's kind of a big treat. Let's just say that. It's a big treat. Um, but this thing every little while tells me, has a mindful moment, and it has me breathing to like pretty pictures that expand and contract as to how I should breathe. And then it's got like mindful moment to do a meditation for 1 minute. So I think there might be a way to set the Fitbit that way. I don't know. I don't know what you got. So, and I'm not familiar, but yeah. But so if oh, we've got some people who are going to be exercising here. I'm not sure what Bowflex dumbbells are, but you can be sure I'm going to be Googling that when we're done today, Maria. How fun. Yeah, so it looks like we've got some folks who want to exercise. That's awesome. You got them on sale. Of course. Well, everything was on sale this year. Those retailers did not want to miss a beat. That's all I'm saying there. And I agree, Janet. Janet said, Richard always says such amazing things we can relate to. And honestly, I agree. Richard makes some incredible connections. And I mean, you all do too. Everybody's got a different perspective, but it's really nice that uh, people open up and they share, their kind of experience, and they're amusing, because they're kind of amusing too, right? We need a spiritual Fitbit. Yep, we absolutely do. So those are all great observations. And then back to the physical, in the Bowflex, they're adjustable and all of that. That's aw. See, look at all the love that's being shared here. Wow. I'm loving it. Richard said, Janet, that's sweet. And the reason I'm repeating is because some people are just listening. They're not actually watching the show, so they're not reading what I'm putting up. So thank you for all putting up with me, so that everybody can get the experience from the comments. And certainly those of you who are listening, feel free to pop on at any given time and add to the conversation, because I will put your comment up and I will read it for everyone to see. Um, So resolutions, I I'm gonna do like a little 5-day, it's not really a fast, it's more like intermittent fasting because I need a reset. I need to get that sugar out of my body. So I'm planning on doing this like sort of 5-day thing. And but many people, okay, I'm gonna have one of my friends is doing like a dry January and then starting Weight Watchers with a friend, and or whatever other program you want to go on. Some people are on Noom, some people there's a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to promote any of them here. It's up to you to find what is going to work best for you, what's going to resonate for you. But if you're planning on making New Year's resolutions, New Year's resolutions don't work without a clear plan. It's not like we can say, okay, I'm going to resolve to lose weight and then not have a month by month plan in place. And I say month by month. And I'm not necessarily talking about how much you should lose, because that's where we get caught up and where we oh, I didn't lose it, and then we give it up. And in fact, I was listening to some statistics today that most people make resolutions and like they ditch them by the end of January. Like I go to the gym. I'm not gonna lie. I don't look forward to January because everybody and their brother joins. But then by February, we'll have the gym back. Yeah. So you have to have a clear plan that you're gonna of exactly how you're gonna tackle these particular resolutions. So mom says write them down and keep a journal. Awesome. Some people do vision boards. I'm going to do this in January. I'm going to do this in February. But we need to have a vision that we're going to succeed. Not like, oh, I'm going to make this resolution, but I hope it's not like last year or the year before where I failed miserably. We have to have a vision of succeeding and how to get there. And also, I'm going to add a bit of personal advice from things that I've learned over time and from some pretty good coaches. And I actually worked for a weight loss company for a bit, and just this popped into my head again, and it's really good advice. You need to make your resolutions doable and sustainable. Going on a 5-day fast for me is not something I can't like fast for an extended period of time, or I'm going to do, kind of a little binging here and there and all of that. It's just a reset. It's a detox, and I can do it again. But make all your resolutions doable and sustainable. You cannot run a marathon overnight. I do know some people who can, but you can't run a marathon overnight, and take baby steps to get there and build up. If you have never moved before, if you have never worked out before, don't just set a goal to, even walk a mile, maybe just around the block or down the street. Yeah, you have to build up. And as I just was talking about the dieting, like do something that you can and will continue. There are certain things that you're not going to be able to continue for the rest of your life, right? I can't detox or not eat for, you know, a whole year. And my mom brought up failure is a learning process, and that's actually true if you consider it that, right? I used to have so when I was in real estate, there was a great trainer, Tom Hopkins, I think, and I'm trying to think of the exact quote, but it was something like, I never see failure as failure, but an opportunity to learn. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it's a darn good one way or another. So really, there's no such thing as failure. It's a blip in the system. The only time we fail is if we don't get back up, if we don't take those steps again. And we're just agreeing with that. Yeah. And let's see, Janet says, I always need to start any resolutions or goals slowly or I get overwhelmed. Yes. And you're super sensitive to energy too. So that's also the energy that sometimes gets in the way, because all of this, if we've got physical resolutions, we're going to hit all the energy that stops us from achieving those resolutions. I work with a lot of people in January and February to clear all the energy so that they can get through it. Yeah. There's always that space where we are just hitting energy. So absolutely include your spiritual part in your resolutions, right? That you're going to clear energy. You're going to, whether it's here, a meditation, but that you actually just breathe and release any energy that's getting in your way. Yeah. And Richard brings up failure is our best teacher. Yes. Yes. It is our best teacher. But I wonder if there's another way, because I don't think we've failed. I don't think we ever really fail. I think that what happens is we do something that doesn't work, and we have to go back to the drawing board and find something that will. I don't know that we ever really fail. Not that, believe me, I have had those times when I just feel like a complete failure at everything. And yes, that still does happen to me. Yeah, even with all the energy work and everything. And I guess the best teacher, when we say failure is the best teacher, what we're also talking about is looking at it and going, well, that didn't work. Let's try this other way. So if you've been doing something over and over and over again, and you're getting the same results, right? You need to maybe go back to the drawing board. There's another really good quote about that too. Keep doing what you always did and get what you always got. That's the truth of it. Yeah. But we need to weave in the spiritual part. We need to weave in the clairvoyant part. Yeah. We can't just put it out there and have the vision, right? Or write it in our journal and not take the steps to get there. Not take the steps to clear our energy to get there. Yeah. It's all tied in. It is all one. And it's all such a beautiful space. So if you do make resolutions, right, and you fall off the wagon by January, get right back up. Because remember, it's falling off the wagon. It's not really a failure. I know we're used to calling it a failure. And, maybe we feel we've failed. And you know what? It's okay to let yourself feel that for just a minute. But I'll bet you if you stand back up, clear the energy, wipe the slate clean, and try again, right? With a different perspective, a different outlook, a different insight on your own part. That's what, this is my favorite quote that Janet just put up. Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yep. And it is insane, right? But that doesn't mean we have to stop doing what it is that we want to do. Stop creating the thing that we want to create. Stop moving forward. We don't want to stop. It's really, okay, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and see something else. I'm going to take from that lesson. I'm going to pull from that space. And so that brings us also to the end of the year, right? What did we do this year that might have been a failure that we put away? Right? We're at the tail end of that Mercury retrograde. It's out of retrograde. Well, Mercury's direct station, I believe, January 1st. So it's kind of hanging there. And then it'll take a couple of weeks till about mid-January to get back up to speed. But reflect on your year. Yeah. What did you think you failed at that maybe you put down? Maybe you can revisit that. Yeah. Mom says you might perceive something as a failure, take time to think about it, and it might not be. Oh, yes, yes, yes. What we think we have failed at might be someone else's success. And I'm not saying we should compare ourselves to other folks, but when you look back, there are so it's great, Mom, you brought that up because um I was listening back to one of the old meditations that I offered a while back that I thought was horrible. I was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst meditation I've ever taught. I can't believe it." I'm so grateful that people still stick with me when I'm putting out stuff like that. That's what I felt. And then I listened back to it. I was like, "Holy cow, this thing is great." It was a great meditation, and it was great for me to listen to again. And yes, I do listen to my own my own stuff. Yeah. And Janet's agreeing with my mom. So yeah, when you get out there and you do those resolutions, you're in it for the long haul. So make it a practice. Remember we talked about that right around when did we? Oh, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, we talked about making things a practice, not a perfect. Because whether you practice your diet or practice your meditation or practice getting more steps in, however you do it, or practice on your what was that, Bowflex barbells. I do CrossFit. I practice at that almost daily, unless my coaches try to kill me, and then I take a day off. But it's a practice. And the more we practice, pretty soon it's going to become kind of a part of the routine, part of your normal routine, and there won't be any resistance in it. And all of this is a learning process. Life is a practice. And you got to love, practice, not perfect. Because, dear God, we are all these the only thing as human beings that we are perfect at are being imperfect. We make mistakes. Life is messy. Even if you're especially if you're in spiritual awakenings and down the spiritual path, it is messy as hell. So just make it a practice. And if you want to do resolutions, there's an important point that I'm not sure I've talked about before. And when I was working on this to kind of share these things with you and what I wanted to share with you today, I don't think I have ever said before that all things are created in spirit and happen on the astral before they manifest in the physical. So I've already done this live on the astral. Yeah. You've already been here with a whole host of other folks, both in and out of the body. But all things happen in spirit before they happen in the physical. So you could say that everything has already happened before you wake up in the morning and you're making it real. So when we work these daily practices, what it does is it integrates into that astral space as well. There's so much more to us than meets the eye, the different chakras, the different energy bodies, the astral body that goes into that dream space. Yeah. There are many, many levels of creating all at once. And listen, they really tapped into something with what was that movie? Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie, I watched that as a psychic. I wanted to fill a theater and do a after chat about it because honest to God, that's was an incredible movie is whatever their situation was, wasn't even the point. But the fact that everything is everywhere all at once, especially in spirit. And we can also consciously create our mock-ups by using our clairvoyance and our ability to see clearly. Amazing. There's amazing stuff happening in this world, and accessing your clairvoyance to see and using our intuition to guide us along the way, that is key to all of this. Yeah. That's kind of the start of being aware. And wow, I've been talking for a while. So I'm just going to say hello to all those folks who are just now popping on to join us. We're in the middle of talking about resolutions and how resolutions don't work unless you have a plan. So if you just popped on, that's kind of what we're talking about. But we're talking about how they can work. Wow, hi Ivory, good to see you here. And so there's more people, popping on. Thank you all for being here on my last show of the year. Oh my gosh. But I do want to tell you that yes, I am here and we've got some stuff going on. And there's a lot of stuff that I've been talking about within this space. And I do want to tell you that I do a yearly workshop called Create Your Dream, and whatever the year is. So this year it's Create Your Dream 2024. And we are going to actually be creating our entire world of personal, our spiritual, and our business goals, relationship goals, all of that. We're going to I'm going to have a 2-hour workshop here. Let me put up the link. It might not show up, so you might have to contact me or go to my website at spiritlightinsight.com. But Create Your Dream 2024, the link should show up in whatever forum you are watching this in, or if you're listening later, there's links to my website in the description. But Create Your Dream, we're doing all of that, and you're going to learn some psychic tools of how to mock up and hold a vision, because that is how we get stuff done, right? That's going to be, oh, I forgot to put the date on there. Why don't I add the date? What do you think? No, I'm not going to add the date because I can't get to it. Yes, I can. So I'm just doing a little tweak here so that you can get the date on that. Let's see if it works. There we are. Wow, presto changeo. This is amazing. So it's on the 7th of January. And then on the 16th, we're talking a lot about clairvoyance here as well. And so on the 16th, we are starting our Clairvoyant Essentials and Mastery Program, CEM for short. This is the sort of the foundations. You get to learn how to read past lives and how they affect your present time incarnation and other people's, so that you start to get to see the big picture, the patterns in your life and others. It's a big healing space. So this is just a great space if anyone is interested. And again, you can contact me. You know where I'm at in all the different venues. You can even leave a message if you're sitting here on YouTube in the comments, and I'll get it pretty quickly. I'll get it later. All of this is on my website at spiritlightinsight.com. So feel free to go there, go to the booking site, go to the various pages. All of these have separate pages with descriptions, and I would love to have you in a program, and you can also sign up for a reading if you like. So, gosh, yes. So another part to all of this when we create resolutions, when there's things that we want to create, is that we have to heal and let go of any kind of pain or patterns that keep us stuck in a loop. We might be stuck in old patterns. We might be stuck in old relationship dynamics. We might be stuck in trauma from our childhood. And none of this means a hoot if we can't heal those spaces. And when I talk about healing, I'm talking about restoring to wholeness. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you that needs quote unquote fixing. Yeah. It's just that when we are in trauma or when we go into these other kind of spaces, right, of a lot of pain, and we kind of get stuck there, and it creates like even a PTSD, we're divided and divided and divided. We are separated from God. We are separated from ourselves. We are separated from the light. So healing is restoring to wholeness. And the beauty of this restoration is that we get back all that we are as the spirit that we are. We get back more light. We get back more of our creative energy. And we do that every time we shed a different layer of old energy from our space. So every time we do a meditation here on a Friday, you are shedding a little bit of a layer, a little bit of a piece off that old space. So we can have a dream, but we can't, it's not going to manifest. It's not going to be come to fruition. It's not going to come to our reality if there's no space for it or we can't have it. So that's something to think about when you're making resolutions, and, come join us in Create Your Dream 2024 and learn how to do a mock-up energetically, learn how to clear your space. And we're going to do a little bit of calling back our energy in the meditation in a little bit. But for now, just keep that in mind when you go to make resolutions. You want to make a plan, and make that plan month by month, and also make the plan for what will happen if things go horribly, horribly wrong with whatever plan you made. You might get sick, or you might get the flu or something, and, you fall off the wagon, whatever, but make a plan for that too. I guarantee you're going to be much, much happier with it. So, wowzers, we're changing the subject. We're back to the new year. Oh my God. So in a few short days, we are not only ending a calendar year, but we are completing another chapter in our very own up close and personal book of life. Each of us has a book of life. Yeah. And every year is a different chapter. So how was your chapter? Did you enjoy it? And you can even give yourself a breath. And I've taught some of you how to meditate or run your energy. And so you can go ahead and start looking at that, because we're going to have a meditation very shortly. But how was your chapter? What was written in your book of life this year? And really, did you enjoy it or resist it or struggle with it? Or maybe it was a challenge, or maybe it was a great time. Maybe it was the best time you ever had in your life, and that's amazing. But good, bad, or indifferent, and those are very judgmental words, right? It was a good thing. It was a bad thing. Who cares? I'm bored. But good, bad, or indifferent, this chapter, this year is about to end. And as you might have seen in the banner, the beginning is near. And wait, I will change the banner to the beginning is here. Just after, actually after the show is over, I will change that probably tomorrow or the next day. But the beginning of a new chapter is near. And Richard is sharing it's a challenging year, and he did resist, but it was educational. Yes, it's all in education. And I mean, I could tell you, I have had epic meltdowns. I have had down the rabbit hole moments. I've had, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I'm going to go out back and eat worms moments. And I've had joyous moments watching your breakthroughs. I've had profound moments of insight. I've had joyous moments with friends and family and new folks, coming on in the family. It's amazing. And so overall, I love kind of doing that review even for myself. And the funny thing is, if you go month by month, which we will do in the workshop, we're not going to do it tonight, but you start to actually remember things from whatever was going on in that month. And the beginning is near, and we don't have to resist sliding into home plate. So these last few days of the year and Mercury retrograde, which I think it's kind of amazing that these last few days of the year, it's fitting to review, reflect, forgive, release, and then take time to dream and create a foundation and ground into the year to come. Mostly all this merriment and how we celebrate, but how many of you have done a meditation on New Year's Eve and grounded right at midnight? Okay, admittedly, even I don't do that most of the time, but I do first thing in the morning on New Year's Day. But as we reflect on the year that has passed, it's really important to notice if we left any energy in the past, or we got stuck on a picture, or we're still trying to heal or fix somebody else outside of ourselves. A bunch of our energy might be caught up in that year. So, for example, if there's some situation that you can't stop thinking about and you're trying to fix or change something that's already happened, of course, we can't change the past, but we might be thinking about it, right? Oh, if I call it the space of if only I said this or did that. But when we get into that space, there's just a ton of resistance holding it there, our energy there, and there is a good chance that our energy is stuck in whatever, in my terminology, that's called the picture. It's a picture because it's not real. It's not me tapping on this microphone right now. It's something that is in my mind that I have embellished or changed in some way, because that's how creative our minds are. We don't have a thought that's not embellished in some way. Yeah. We might think we remember it. That's why you see all those shows, like where there's a conflict in a sitcom or something, and then they show everybody's perspective, but what really happened is usually pretty far from everybody's perspective. That is our creative mind. And so I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, right? But it's a picture in our mind. And so sometimes energy gets stuck in that snapshot. There could be energy caught up in unanswered questions. Maybe, we had a relationship breakup and there's no closure, or maybe something happened in our world, plans that didn't come together, maybe mistakes or projects that didn't get finished, or just you have no idea what's going on, right? And so you might be continually asking these questions. There might even be happy times that we never want to forget. That's a picture too. And we can leave a lot of our energy in those pictures, in those snapshots. Yeah, we never want to forget. I mean, there's both sides of that. Never forget, and then that's, oh my God, that was the best time of my life. I don't ever want to forget that. And it's not that we're going to forget. if we clear the energy, but we want to get our energy out of it so that it's this beautiful memory and that we have our energy to create with. So this is not only the time to reflect, review, and release, but it's time to collect up and call back any energy we left behind. And doing this gives us more space, and therefore we have more space for our creations, right? We have more energy to create with. So that's some of the joys of this is what I do as a clairvoyant at the end of the year. I release Mercury retrograde or not, release, review, reflect. Yeah. And then call back my energy, ground into the new year, and then create the creation for the next year. And then of course the steps to get there. So just to reiterate and say this again, calling back our energy from happy times doesn't mean we're going to forget them. It means that we're going to have all of our joyful enthusiasm and creative energy that we put into that happy time. We're going to have all of that back to create more happy times and to have more light. Isn't that fun? Isn't that amazing? So we can actually do that now if anybody's ready. Is everybody ready for a little bit more light, a little bit more happy times, a little bit more of getting back to you? That's the most fun of this. And, if you're just popping on or you're enjoying what we're doing here right before we go into the meditation, please do subscribe, like, and share with your friends, bring on the followers on, Facebook and YouTube, because the more the merrier, the more of a community that we can grow here. Yeah. And the more questions, the more thoughtful comments that come up, which they're all thoughtful. And I love it, Gail saying, let's do it. Yes, let's do that closing meditation, which, yes, this is always fun to do. So welcome everybody here. If you've got any questions, we're going to be doing the meditation, but please do drop them in the comments so that I can address them now, or you can drop them later after we're off. I'll still get them. But this is our year in review, release resistance to moving forward meditation. So everyone give yourselves a breath and begin to settle in wherever you are. And this kind of meditation is done while seated in a chair with your feet on the floor. Just comfortable, or if you're ill, you can be laying back. I know some of you are hanging out there, laying back, and that's fine. But just begin to tune into you and tune into your breath. Tune into the spirit that you are. You can close your eyes or just soften your gaze and turn your attention inward. You can kind of turn your gaze downward, your attention inward. You might not be in a place where you want to fully close your eyes. And then go ahead and breathe and release. And breathe and release. If you know how to run energy and you're listening to this, please do feel free to ground and run your energy. If you're new to this, say hello to the base of your spine, the area by the tip of your tailbone, which is the location of your first chakra, that energy center that is all about your identity. It is all about your safety and security. It is what helps us feel safe enough to open up our upper chakras, our clairvoyance, our intuition, our clairaudience, all of the abilities. Very simply say hello to that tip of your tailbone and imagine that you are connected from the tip of your tailbone all the way into the center of the earth. In order to create that connection, you can visualize a beautiful tree that's rooted into the earth and flatten out the top and just sort of sit on that or attach that right at the tip of your tailbone. Imagine that that trunk is a place to release energy. You can release what no longer serves you. Release any energies that you've been holding on to. Release resistance and other people's energy as well. You can see that release going down the trunk like a waterfall, just flowing, where it goes into the center of the earth and gets recycled and goes back to where it came from. Being connected with the earth in this way brings us right into the here and now, brings us out of our thoughts and back into our body. It gives us space to be and clears more of a space so that we can bring more of our own energy in instead of carrying the energy and pain of others. So go ahead and breathe and release. And rest your attention behind your eyes in the center of your head. Imagine you're in a beautiful place that is safe, a place that is bathed in sunlight, or you can even have a room. And if you're in a room, just turn on the light, pull up a chair in that room, decorate the room how you would like, and just be in that space. Be in charge. Be in a space of being able to see, a place where you have clarity. Give yourself a breath. And from that space, go ahead and let go of any kind of energy that you are still trying to solve or fix, or something that you have become responsible for that's not yours. And let that go down that grounding and lighten your load. As we embrace the light of spirit at the end of this beautiful, beautiful year, whether it was a challenging year or a learning lesson year or a stuck year or a beautiful, amazing, best year of your life year, begin to embrace the light of spirit that you are. And go ahead and imagine that you've got this energy field that's around you that goes about fingertip to fingertip. If you're to put your arms out, stretch them out. And some of you might have to kind of move your aura out because you hold it very, very close to protect yourself. And others of you are going to bring your aura in because you've tried to make the space safe for everyone, including yourself. But just wrap that aura, that energy field right around you. And you can even begin to release energy out of your aura that's not you, that might have gotten stuck in there. And that's going to go right down your grounding as well. Be right in the center of your head and have your awareness about you. Be aware of your body, be aware of your surroundings, even though your eyes are closed. Give yourself a breath and begin to let go of any fear of what the new year might bring. That's your energy in the future. Let go of fear for anything you were afraid of or were carrying from somebody else. You can let go of that fear so that you can free yourself up. Give yourself some freedom. Just notice a lot of unconscious energy that might be leaving your space right now. There's a lot of white that I'm noticing moving out of everyone's spaces. So just be right in the center of your head. And if you're yawning or if you're feeling sleepy, give yourself more breath. Breathe in and let it oxygenate and flow through your whole system, giving you more energy. And then breathe out whatever got transformed. You can breathe that into the world. Give yourself a breath and let go of any resistance that you're holding on to. Maybe you were in resistance, or maybe someone's resisted you. Give yourself a breath and just begin to let go of any of that resistance and be right here and now. Present time is the only place we can create from. Give yourself space to be, and then set your intent to have that space moving forward. Breathe in enthusiasm and joy for the year to come. And then I'd like you to bring your crown chakra, that energy center at the top of your head. Just imagine you've got a golden light. Just turn that crown chakra all gold. It's part of your energy system. This is your knowingness, bringing your answers in. So just allow that energy center, it's at the very top of your head, to turn all gold. And then breathe and release anything that you're ready to let go of. In your mind's eye, say hello to the new year, to the new chapter you're going to write. And you can even imagine that you're looking at your own chapter in your book of life and see yourself as writing some things down in that book that you would like to have. Maybe you would like to have some good health. Maybe you'd like peace and calm. Maybe you'd like love or a relationship. What if you started to write the chapter now? So just jot down a few things in your mind's eye in that chapter. And then be right back in the center of your head. And slowly bring your awareness back to your body and your surroundings. And notice that you're still grounded, you're still connected to the earth, releasing. Give yourself a few deep breaths and wiggle your fingers and toes and just kind of enliven your body for a moment. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine a beautiful golden sun above your head and begin to call your life force back into that golden sun. Wherever you've given away any of your energy, any of your gold, any of your sparkle, any of your shine, Begin to call that back into that golden sun. Call back your healing energy, anything that you are still healing from back in 2023. Maybe you gave away some healing energy. Call it back and be done with it. Give yourself a breath and call back any energy in general that you left in 2023, any kind of creative energy, any kind of, even your resistance, anything that you left in 2023, just begin to call that back. You're not going to get to everything today in this short meditation, but just you can begin the process. And then I'd like you to give yourself a breath and let go of the grounding cord that you had and create a brand new one, even a few days early, that represents 2024 and that represents space and spaciousness and represents your freedom. And imagine what that grounding cord looks like and the qualities of energies. And you can attach that right at the tip of your tailbone as you ground, as we ground into 2024. Notice what that feels like to have that grounding. And then go ahead and say hello to that gold sun where you've been calling back your energy. And I'd like you to bring that right in through that crown chakra at the top of your head and allow it to slip right on in and fill your whole head and all the things in it, your brain, all the nadis, all the pathways in the brain. Just fill yourself up with that light and your energy. Bring that gold sun down and fill up your neck and your shoulders, your arms and your hands. Fill up your torso, your belly, your hips, your legs, your knees, your feet. Let that golden sun fill up every cell and every system in your physical body, bringing ease, bringing your energy, bringing light. Let that gold sun begin to expand and fill up your skin and come out your pores until it is filling up that energy field, your aura, and bring it all to a nice, beautiful gold. Bring your attention back behind your eyes into that sacred space in the center of your head. And give yourself a final, well, not final, but give yourself a deep breath in and slowly exhale as you put a smile on your face. And then go ahead and just very slowly and gently open your eyes and look around your room. And you might need to pat your body, pat your legs, come back slowly, wiggle your toes, wiggle your ears, wiggle your nose. This is when I would love to see everybody, because I would love to see wiggling noses and wiggling ears. I can't do kind of either one. But just return to yourself and just say hello to that body and just see if you have a little more space. See if you're in a different space than where you were. I was loving watching all the energy you were all releasing, and every single one of you that is here came here to do this, came here to get into the present, came here to release some of this stuff and call back some of your energy. How amazing it is that we can do this through technology. My classes were all in person. There wasn't really a YouTube. And in fact, there wasn't even really barely, I think I had just gotten my first computer when I was in classes. So come on back. And what did you notice in that experience? I'd love to hear from you as you kind of come back and have a little more awareness of the space that you're in. Don't move too quickly because that was kind of a big deal. It looked like many of you really were getting your space back. But I'd absolutely love to hear how that was for you as we kind of head into more of kind of sliding into home plate there for the end of the year, wrapping up our goodness, last wrap up of the year. Can you believe it? How we started this with just a few kind of people and coming on with our friends and all the various, my gosh, this year. And I'm just going to say this while we're doing this, because as you all can come back, um, make comments about, what your experience was. But I can't, it's amazing. We had an astrologer on and we compared the coronation. We did a whole reading on the coronation. We had paranormal investigators on. We had psychic mediums on. We had Jay Lane and we had Glenn Klausner and we had, oh my gosh, we had Tony Pico on doing astrology. Like we've had so many wonderful, wonderful guests this year, and it's just been such a pleasure. And I plan on, look, it's only going to get better and better. So you are welcome, Richard. Richard said, "Thanks, Debbie. I feel like I've cleared some positive space for the year to come." Yeah, that was kind of one of the spaces. And Janet saying, "Thank you. I needed the calmness." Yeah, this time of year, I mean, it is supposed to be like super festive and happy, and it's generally chaotic and overwhelming, especially for folks who are super sensitive. So I'm glad that I could be here and doing this. And listen, I have a very special announcement at the end of this. So stick around for just a minute while we wrap up our wrap up and do our Happy New Year's for everybody. But to wrap up this particular wrap up, resolutions don't work without a plan. They do work, but you have to make space for them, which means you got to clear your energy. Something I talked about that I didn't talk about this week, but I talked about last week. So if you want to go review that show, oh my God, awesome. That'd be great. There's a new energy, a new gold energy, a new light coming onto the planet. So just be aware of that. We are all in this together and we are creating our experience and we are changing our reality, changing everyone's experience by shining our light as we are. Oh my gosh, what a great comment. And one of the things that when you do this work, it does give you more space to be who you are. And Maria said, when you mentioned creating space for yourself, I saw Popeye saying, "I am what I am." And that's perfect because each of us is who we are. Yeah. And much as we try, we can't be anything else. But start to see things the way you want them to be and take the steps to get there. You can't just miraculously get there. You can't just sit back and I know there's a lot of law of attraction, picture this, mind meld, just see this and it's going to happen. And that's partially true, but we need to take the steps to get there. And we're getting the signs for it all the time. So follow your intuition and your GPS, your inner GPS, and it will guide you. For everyone and everyone that's been here every single week or popped on even for 2 seconds. Thanks to every single one of you for your willingness to show up every week and participate. I certainly hope you enjoy what we are creating here. Readings and healings are always available. You can visit my website at spiritlightinsight.com. If you have questions, you can send me messages. Obviously, oh, you can't even barely read my website on that one. I will get back to that, but here's my website again, spiritlightinsight.com. Guidance and inspiration for the human spirit. That is what we are doing. Stay tuned. Because and I want to well, let me talk about that last, but for right now, Create Your Dream 2024 is happening. Go to my website. I would love to have you in this workshop. It's an epic workshop. I've done it every year for many, many years. It used to be called Endings and Beginnings. I created my own version of that. So now it's Create Your Dream, and we're going to clear and walk through. We've got a clairvoyant development program starting. That is going to be for sure January 16th. We've already got people in there. You can find out all the information, but save the date. So what are y'all doing on January 1st, New Year's Day? Because our friend Michael Arrington is doing a psychic extravaganza. He's going to have Corby might lead on with Pat Dumas, I guess, from like 1 to 2 Pacific time. But then, stay tuned, because Louis Maybe and I are going to be on together doing our prediction show on January 1st. We're going to be on at 3 p.m. and this is Pacific time. So 3 p.m. Pacific, for 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what it is Mountain. I'm not good at this, like last second. But we are going to be on Michael Arrington's channel. Again, if you need a link, you just let me know. I will be pushing out the promo and how to access that as well. But I hope you can all come to that, because our prediction show has been, oh my God, out of sight. And I've got some great stuff to share with you on that day. And I know that Louis and I talked yesterday, and we're going to have we have a lot to say, including how AI, some of the wonderful things that AI is going to do for us, not those fear mongering, oh my God, it's taken over the world. We've got some great things that come out of that. So I guess, oh my God. So also on New Year's Eve is actually 12/31/23, which if you write it down is a 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we are going to waltz our way out of 2023 and into 2024. So we'll do a 1 2 3 1 2 3 dance, and we are going to then call us out. I can't sing, because otherwise, I'll get a YouTube ding. But oh my gosh. And Richard's saying, thanks again. You are so welcome. Yes, I hope you make it for the New Year show. It's going to be a lot of fun for everyone here today or watching later. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. May the light of joy and grace touch your spirit throughout the year. Here is to a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2024 for all. And for now, I'm going to say to everybody my sign off for one last time. Oh, I'm getting weepy. In 2023, keep your spirit light in sight, and always remember to shine your light. Bye-bye. Happy New Year. Happy end of the year. See you next year.